I'm Jason Turman. This is Power of a Man's Cheese, and let's talk about the stigma of fan projects. Now, for those of you who don't know, fan projects are kind of a catch-all term that I'm using here for fan films, fan art, fan fiction, fan radio dramas, fan whatever. But I've been noticing recently that there's a lot of stigma behind this kind of thing. There's a lot of people who say that these projects aren't really worth anyone's time because these fans don't own these characters, since they're working in this world that they don't actually have any control over. But that's really oversimplifying it. You see, there have been a number of fan projects that have gone on to spawn bigger things. There's been a Mortal Kombat fan film that spawned a web series. There's a Street Fighter fan film that's also spawned a web series. It's getting ready to have a sequel web series. I don't know if this is a great example or not, but 50 Shades of Grey is actually a fan fiction of Twilight with all the characters' names changed. Yes, I know that that's probably a terrible example, but if you look at it from a financial point of view, really even Star Wars, when you think about it, is a kind of fan fiction in and of itself, because George Lucas and all of them were working off of Flash Gordon. If you look at a lot of the cues that Star Wars took, it was heavily based off of Flash Gordon. And I think that's mainly because, from what I heard, Lucas had originally wanted to do a Flash Gordon film but couldn't get the rights to it. So they just went, we'll make our own. And maybe that's not necessarily the same as a fan project, but it certainly does seem to sort of skirt those lines. Like, they had a basis that they used for this film. And I mean, really, a lot of stories have a basis on something else. People might take a character and maybe change a name or change up a backstory or something and have like their own original character. Those were quotations if you couldn't see it. While technically that's completely legal, depending on how it's done, it could still be argued as a sort of fan project. I think, at least. But I don't know. I know that some people who work on fan films and other fan projects can go on to do bigger things. There was a fan film called Batman Dead End, which was basically Batman versus aliens versus predators. It was really good, trust me. It sounds crazy. Came out in 2003. There was a lot of buzz around it. It was able to really get out there in a time that we didn't have YouTube. So you had to go to sites and download it on your 56K modem, which took forever. Man, those were some weird days. But from that, eventually, the creator of it did go on to make his own full-length feature film called Hunter Prey. And I saw that on its own, and it was pretty good. I was actually kind of surprised because I recently saw a documentary about Batman Dead End, and they had talked about that he had made Hunter Prey as well. So it was kind of neat to see that those two were connected. And I could probably have more examples of people who've done fan projects that went on to do other things, but I don't have a list. I'm sorry, these vlogs aren't really better prepared. Like, I don't have a list of things. I don't really have a written script, so a lot of times I have to go back and re-record everything. So, yeah. It's a thing. But I don't know. I don't see a reason to necessarily put down a fan project just because that's what it is. Are there stinkers out there? Oh, yeah, there certainly are. But that could be said about anything, really. Like any piece of art that anyone's putting out there. Like, of course, you're going to have some that are just. Of course, granted, it's all really subjective. So, one person's trash is another person's treasure. But to make a broad statement and say that all fan films, all fan art, all fan whatever is just crap is it it is ridiculous. It's generalization, which I don't really care for, and it can really be a low blow for anyone who's worked on any of these kind of projects and, you know, put themselves into this sort of thing and to be basically told, oh, well, that's complete crap because you don't own it and you can't make any money off of it. So, when it comes down to it, that's not your concern. That's the concern of the people who are creating it. You shouldn't be concerned that they don't own it or they can't make any money off of it. If they have to face any sort of legal ramifications for creating this project, that's on them. That's not on you. If you're the one who's just watching it and you decide not to because of that, that's a little elitist. But I mean, that is just my opinion. And I guess full disclosure, yes, I have worked on a fan radio project or 3 before. So, yeah. I didn't write them, I was just in them. But, yeah, I could probably talk more about that some other time. But, anyway, I think I'm kind of running over time here, so I will end it with that. So just remember, you should always give everyone's art a chance, at least. You shouldn't say that it's garbage just because it's a fan project. Because you never know when you might find something that's vastly entertaining. Like, say, Red vs. Blue or Dragon Ball Z Abridged, which are 2 other very successful fan projects. Parodies, but still fan projects. So, you never know. And with that, till next time, Space Monkeys.